All right, Riddle. I think we're live. So, like I said, I'll get everything set up, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Sounds good to me, man.
Uh,
Oh, they were on that page too, weren't they?
Good there.
Wow. This is worse than I thought.
Start liking too if you can.
All right. Let me finish getting this wrote down.
Where's my heart? I don't have a heart. Cool. Nope. I don't have a heart. That sucks. Oh, it's because it's me.
It's interesting.
2 seconds, Riddle.
Oh, you're good.
Damn it! What the hell is happening right now? That is not what I wanted. There we go. We're live. We're live. One more thing, then we'll be. Ooh yeah. All right. Let's see here. Yes. Hold on, Riddle. All right, we're here now. What's up, Slap Cheeks? What you doing, brother? Slapping them cheeks. He's back. Slapping them cheeks is back. What's up, brother? We're gonna get started around 8:30. We're just here to shoot the crap now. Let's see here. But hey, this one's for you, my man. This one's for you for showing back up. And it's delicious. How you doing tonight, my brother? How you doing? Riddle, how was work?
Oh, just trucking the dark side.
Oh yeah, well, could be worse. Could be worse. You like that?
Me and Tony up there, we shut 24 down basically at the beginning of shift. So we ran 9102 and 9103 over there on 25, so it wasn't bad.
Slapping them cheeks says wishing Saturday would get here already. I think we all
Oh, we
are.
all.
Yeah, I think we all are. I don't know if after Saturday we'll be so gracious, but we'll take it while we can. Saturday for Uga. Oh, got Uga. I don't know, man. This weekend's gonna be rough, man. That's a big matchup. We ain't gonna get into it too much. We'll talk about it when we go live. But I mean, I know we're live, but when we go talk about we go to the podcast, we're gonna break down our little opinions. But hey, man, yeah, thank you for being here. Like I said, if you're new here, please follow, please like. Like I said, do this every Wednesdays and Saturday, and then we mix in a bunch of the other stuff in the middle. I mean, you know how it is. We gotta do what we gotta do. The white definitely orders this.
What? I missed something.
He said the guy in the white definitely orders his steak well done.
Definitely not, but that is funny.
I'm 100% rare, man. I want mine blue in the center, but
I'm medium rare.
That's the best thing I've heard all night. All right. All right. He said best team I've seen since 08. I'm talking all the shit all year. 49-38. Real UT stays undefeated. That's a big win, man. That'd be a big win. That'd be a big win for y'all.
We'll get into it. I'm a go in depth on a breakdown on Texas and their defense. So just be ready.
Yeah, I think you're gonna enjoy this. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Like I said, we've already talked and kind of like shared some ideas and thoughts, and I think everyone's gonna be surprised at how in depth we go. Like I said, we're not gonna sugarcoat anything here. We're gonna tell you the truth. Yeah, we got two more joining us tonight, so we'll have a quad on here. We'll have the old Final Four. Anyway, what are y'all doing, man? How are y'all doing tonight? How's everybody doing? So we hanging out. Georgia isn't ready for that intense environment. Man, I'm gonna tell you who. I don't know if Alabama's going to Tennessee. That's gonna be intense. Luckily, we ain't playing at night though. How do you guys decide on who's top and bottom? Honestly, we let Discord decide. So that's the if you want the truth of it all. So when we all join up and link up, it's Discord usually decides who goes where. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're just now kind of trying to get started on all this. Like I said, we've been talking about doing a podcast and getting on here and talking sports live for years.
We have. It's been a long time coming.
And we've had some funny moments. Like I said, we've seen some stuff. So I got something. Riddle, so we're sitting here shooting the shit, and we can be a little real right now. So, you heard what I said. You saw the rundown, and what we're going to do. Our last talking point.
Yep.
So I don't want to get into that, for instance, but I've
already got mine ready.
Good. And I will say though that what I was thinking was while we're sitting here just talking and waiting on people. Oh, Raging Brian is podcast content. Absolutely, Brian. Absolutely. That is Brian. Brian works with us, and that is absolute content.
Oh man, yeah, that's gold right there.
You never heard a grown man scream like that unless you watch Deliverance.
Ever thought you had anger issues? Just play a COD game with him.
Yeah.
You're fine.
All right. So while we're sitting here shooting the shit and waiting, so I wanted to say, like, Alabama's playing Tennessee this week. So I wanted a big moment from Alabama, and Georgia doesn't play Texas often. So I know there's not going to be a big moment for you, but I want you to pick out a big moment for Georgia UT, just in honor of the week, you know, and everything. And just tell me your moment, not the one for the podcast, but just tell me your go-to moment. Doesn't have to be live. This one doesn't have to be live. This one just got to be something you remember that'll ever always stick dear and near to your heart.
It's a funny one.
Okay, go ahead.
It's from the Sugar Bowl.
The Sugar Bowl.
When they took Bevo over there to see Uga, or actually they took Uga to see Bevo because Bevo and Bevo did not like Uga, and Bevo went after Uga.
Oh God!
That Bulldog would have whooped his ass if they'd let him go.
So Wyatt said Auburn returning the missed field goal. Yeah, I think I've seen that a couple thousand times.
Yeah, 2 weeks before that was the 2 weeks before that was the Miracle on the Plains. So we both got that year.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever live that one down. I think that will forever be. Brian said his best moment was the double Hail Marys versus the Vols. So we talked about this a little bit. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings on Lake Douglas. Like, I was in Knoxville. We just came off of Lake Douglas. We were fishing a fishing tournament up there. So we went to the Bass Pro and we went to Buffalo Wild Wings to eat. We're watching the Georgia Alabama game. My fishing partner is a Georgia fan. So we're sitting here with the biggest smiles on our freaking face because they throw that Hail Mary and there's like 10 seconds to go, and we're walking out of there paying our bill like we got the biggest slinging dicks. And we're back in the truck, dude, and I shit you not, this is the true story. We're driving home, and I'm listening to the, just the college football rundown, and they're like, yeah, I can't believe Tennessee came back and beat Georgia. And I'm like, what the hell?
So I'll give you my breakdown of that game because I remember where I was.
I was like, how do you lose that? How do you lose that? Okay,
so I was getting ready for work, and I was sitting at the end of my bed with my coveralls on, and I was on the phone with my stepdad, who's diehard Tennessee, lifelong Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
And we're on the phone and we're talking. Eason hits Ridley on the bomb, and I'm like, hell yeah. And I was like, and we got into a conversation, and I immediately said, don't pooch it. Whatever you do, do not pooch this kick. Kick it out the back of the end zone. I don't care. Do not pooch it.
Yeah.
And what did Georgia do? They pooched it, and they pooched it so bad that Barry was able to run up and catch it. A dead sprint.
Yeah.
Gets it out damn near midfield, and I'm like, oh, God. Well, it's like, I'm on the phone with my stepdad. I'm like, well, they're going to have a shot at it. So sitting there, I'm on the phone. I'm standing at the end of my bed watching the TV. It's like, Dobbs drops back. I'm not saying a word. Neither is my stepdad. Throws it. This was the next words that happened in the conversation. Fucking caught it. I have to go to work. And I hear my stepdad going ape shit on the phone, and I just hung up and left and went to work.
I mean, what do you do at that point? It's over. So my moment in honor of this week is Terrence Cody. Terrence Cody blocking not one, but two field goals in the 2009 Alabama-Tennessee game to win 12-10. That was Lane Kiffin there. And all the Vols fans that hate Lane Kiffin, I'm going to tell you, you had no business being in that game. And y'all were in it. So with that said, that was fun. That was a fun memory. So I literally was watching the game, and I like stripped down to my boxers and started running down the street. We lived in a neighborhood, and I started running down the street waving my Alabama flag. My neighbor next door was a huge Alabama fan. He was from Alabama, just like me. And he was like huge Alabama fan. And he was like, he come outside, dude. And we did the little, like, where you run and jump, the receivers run and jump at each other in the end zone.
Yeah.
It was a moment that you probably wouldn't recreate now, but it was a lot of fun. Now another one since we're talking is Rocky Block or Rocky Stop, however you want to call it. But so 2005, funny story. Me and Chris, y'all know Chris, but me and Chris were at Buddy's house. I worked at a package service, a United package service. Anyway, and essentially, a bunch of friends got together and we're gonna watch the game. So my buddy Brad, he big Tennessee fan. He's all ready for the game. We're all over there. We're hanging out, and it's gonna be just one of those days. We're drinking, we're hanging out. Alabama, it's 2005. I mean, you remember Alabama's in the midst of, just piss poor, just getting dominated every year. And 2005 was a little bit better. So we're like, okay, well, we're gonna do well. We're gonna do well. Okay. Well, lo and behold, I didn't realize this game was gonna be a 6-3 final score. So my friend at the start of this game had Rocky Top on pause on his MP3 iPod. This is back when iPods were still a big rage, but he had it on pause and he was sitting there waiting to play Rocky Top for them to score. I think he got to the third quarter before they finally kicked the field goal. And for those that don't remember, this is the one where the fullback, I can't remember his name, but number 45 caught it on the yards from the goal and is running full bore towards the goal line. And Roman Harper comes out of the end zone and hits him, and he fumbles it out of the back of the end zone. I have that picture, the Rocky Stop, and it was one of those moments where like you just had to know God was smiling down on you, because there's no way that happens 99% of the time. We just got that 1% that day, and we were able to get the win. I think that was only the second win Alabama had against Fulmer. I think that's right. Like I said, Philip Fulmer owned Alabama up in that time period. So, yeah.
I'm sure if you asked Tony, Peyton Manning to Joey Kent would be up there.
You think so? You don't think it was 2022?
Oh, he was there. No, 2 years ago, obviously.
But I figured that would be his topic for the actual podcast. I feel like he would be. I feel like he'll be saying
outside
that,
of that being. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But outside of that being one of the greatest games ever, the craziest part of Tony's story is the fact that he didn't buy a ticket to that game and ended up on the field when it was over. How does that happen?
That Zeke versus Bama first college. Oh man. Yeah. Okay. So that was
the Ohio State team of destiny.
Oh, that was a good Ohio State team. That was a very good Ohio State team. Like, it didn't even matter who quarterback was, because the team around him was so good. And mass respect, Ohio State won the first playoff, and they did well.
Cardell became famous for that too.
Yeah, I think he went first. Did he go first round? Did Cardell go first round?
He didn't go first round.
I know he got drafted, but it was like,
yeah, he fizzed out. But
yeah, I mean, nobody thought he was going to do anything.
His first 3 career starts were Big Ten championship, playoff game, national championship, and they won them all.
Hey, we got Tony logging in. We're going to switch over to the trio.
You guys are on early, huh?
No, pregame. Just setting everything up, and just this is where we're going to get comments and yeah. So this is not the.
Is my mic too loud or anything like that?
No, sounds fine.
I'll be a little low, actually.
A little low now? What about now?
Sounds good.
That's good.
Yeah. Sounds good. Could you please walk me through your day? Could you please walk me through your day that you guys played Vandy? So you want to know my day, or do you want to know the team's day? Because it's 2 totally different scenarios. I can assure you of that. 2 totally different scenarios. I'm sure both of us started out cocky as hell. Me and the team.
Actually, I bet you didn't. because it was Vandy.
Well, I was sitting there like thinking, like, okay, we should have this one. It wasn't like a mission critical, you know, if we're just being honest, like I was sitting there like, I don't know. You didn't think nothing about it. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I was sitting there like, I just can't believe that we freaking lost to Vanderbilt. And it wasn't that we lost to Vanderbilt. If you've watched some of those episodes when we were on there talking about this, it wasn't that we lost to Vanderbilt. It's the way that they played. The players literally that's not the issue, Tony. The issue was the nonchalant of the players and how they acted like they didn't even give a damn. That was the problem. It wasn't that
I think it's safe to say you were the team was overlooking them. You were probably overlooking them. It was Vandy. Yeah. Vandy's not supposed to be in that game.
Everybody's.
But as we know now, Vandy
leadership.
Vandy's 3 or 4 plays away from being undefeated and having the best resume in college football.
Yeah, I mean, at what point did you actually think you might lose? So we were in about the third quarter, and like we literally we would score, make a drive, and then we'd turn around and just let them drive right back on us and score. And so I've been guilty of this many years. Alabama is a very momentum-driven team, and it sucks because like you can't like. For the last couple of years, Alabama is like, if the offense does well, then the defense sucks. If the defense holds, the offense sucks. It's absolutely just abhorrent that we can't even seem to put together 60 minutes of game. And Vanderbilt was no different. The offense didn't play bad, but the defense could never get a stop. And then the 2 turnovers from Milroe obviously cost us the game. I mean, I think we can all agree there. So it was rough. It was a rough day. Rough day. And who's the new guy's team? He's a Tennessee fan, 100%. He's one of those guys. And
the new guy.
The real Texas fans have already showed up, Tony. The real UT fans. That's what they said. The real UT fans.
Yeah,
they said they base it on national titles, and
Tennessee's got more. We looked this up.
Real national titles. Real national titles. Not.
Well, like I said, Texas wouldn't be Texas.
Tennessee has more claimed and unclaimed.
So,
I think Royal had like 4 or 5 on his own.
All right. I have to do this again.
Do it again. Remember, the claimed ones, just make sure you call out the years of the claimed ones because we'll go back and we'll look at the team that really won it. I think they had like 52 under Neyland. I think there was like 52 or...
How many of y'all's had multiple claims, though?
Okay.
Nobody back then had unanimous national titles. Very few had unanimous national titles.
So you got to look at the resume, though. Look at the resume. Like in 1966, we didn't win. We beat the crap out of our team in the bowl game as a second-race team, and the Notre Dame Michigan State tied 6-6, and they gave them co-national championships. I mean, that's what the AP poll did. They hated the South. We all know this. The only times that we actually won one is when they couldn't deny it, because Notre Dame got beat.
Tennessee has 6 claimed national titles: 1938, 1940, 1950, 1951, 1967, 1998.
1967. Let's look it up. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. USC won that one. That's
now Texas. Texas has,
and that was an O.J. Simpson team. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they won that one.
Yeah, but how many teams claimed the title that year?
I think just the 2. I don't know, man. I didn't dive that deep into it. Tennessee is the Penn State of the SEC. Oh man. Ooh, God. It's pretty close.
Texas has 4 claimed national titles: 1963, 1969, 1970, and 2005.
I think 69, 70, yeah, 2005, yeah. That sounds right.
Good and then they have 5 unclaimed, and Tennessee has 6 unclaimed.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The one from Bama that I will concede is 1941. That should have went to Minnesota. And I don't know. I couldn't tell you the story. That's the one thing I could not tell you. Okay, Wyatt asked, what's the biggest heartbreak moment for each of you guys? Tony, you start us off.
Wow, we're just gonna limit to one. I mean, hell,
Every game Nico plays.
I do have something for the real UT here in just a second.
That's this year. That obviously, I think the no-brainer if I'm talking about Vols, and it's not even last year because those expectations got thrown out early.
Yeah.
The year before when we lost to South Carolina, and that was a nut
shot.
Oh,
dude, 2022, that was a huge loss.
It was hard.
That was huge loss. Yeah, y'all were literally going to the playoffs. Hey, make sure y'all are liking and following. Like I said, we're trying to get to 10,000 likes so we can be on the For You page. All right. Riddle, what do you got? Go.
Both my two biggest for me personally, both involve Alabama, and they were the 2012 SEC championship game because we knew that the winner of that was a guaranteed.
That was a guarantee.
That was
one of us versus fake girlfriends. Yeah, we were gonna win.
Yeah, I mean that was such a well played game, and the way that it ended was just devastating because, you know, if the receiver drops the ball there, we get another play. Yeah. Murray and Gurley get another shot at it, but tip ball, a great play by the linebacker. Yeah. He caught it, time ran out, and then that was it.
That just goes to show you the heat of the moment, man. You just don't ever.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't blame the guy.
Yeah, is Jordan going to be on time? I'm just.
And then the other one for me, obviously, is 2018 national title. It's the first time we'd been there since Herschel Walker was there.
Oh yeah,
the national title. And then,
damn it! Close that out.
It goes to overtime after the thrilling win at Oklahoma or against Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. We play in y'all again. Goes to overtime. We kick the field goal. We get the huge sack on first down. It's literally like a roller coaster. We were here after that sack, and then immediately it was devastation. So that one was brutal. And then honorable mentions is anytime we played any of our rivals in the Mark Richt era, because we seem to always lose a game that we should have won.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. I closed my chat app accidentally. Oh. Yeah, that sucks. On this shit. Is Jordan going to be on?
But anyway, oh no, he's got 4 minutes. What I was going to say though, for the real UT moment, Texas was founded in 1883. Mm-hmm. The University of Tennessee was founded in 1794, so Tennessee did come first.
Yeah, so stop talking shit.
I mean, Tony, don't even try it, brother.
What do you mean don't try it? Because I understand it. It wasn't for Tennessee. If it wasn't for Tennessee, fucking Texas is like Mexico University. I mean, this is U.S. history we're talking about here.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Remember the Alamo, baby. Remember the Alamo.
Mexico University.
Crimson Prods, go ahead and give us yours. We want to hear it. We want to hear it. Crimson Prods had one while we're sitting here waiting on Jordan. Somebody messaged.
Oh God, that's a Wyatt's got a good one for Tony. I feel like that's
definitely a Tony. That's a Tony question. Hey, so Wyatt, here you go. Here you go, Wyatt. Vanderbilt.
Losing to Bandy.
It all went away. I don't know what happened, bro. All right.
So Jalen Milroe would be the correct answer.
Jalen Milroe. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Jalen Milroe. Well, he played good that game. That wasn't really necessarily his fault. He didn't play terrible. It just thank you for liking the live, Crimson. Appreciate you, bro. QB caused us to lose the most hair. So most people won't remember this, but Alabama at one point had a QB named Spencer Pennington. And he was one of those guys that came in for Brody Croyle when Brody Croyle went down. And it was absolutely horrendous. I mean, couldn't hit a wide open guy if he was standing there. So can somebody, y'all text Jordan, make sure he's going to show up.
Hold on.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay. I mean, just making sure that we're at 9.1 thousand likes. Let's get to 10,000. Let's get on the For You page. We're about to start up the podcast. And we are actually Crimson Prods, Tyler Buckner for you. Yeah. Well, you didn't get to see much of Tyler Buckner, but yeah, I agree. Tyler Buckner was rough. Crimson, we're trying to make a Crimson Prods makes a lot of videos. I've been watching his stuff, and so we're going to try to make an intro video for when we start the podcast. We got some good ideas. I think we're going to see how that plays out. 9.3 thousand likes. We need to give Jordan just a freaking hair. If not,
I texted him, but he ain't replied.
I mean, how long do you want to give him?
5 minutes, maybe.
5 minutes, okay.
See if he takes back.
I mean, worst case scenario is we just take off and we go. We know what we're going to talk about. Jordan is selling.
Why I said Jordan selling?
Yeah, 9.5 thousand. Thank you guys for the likes. Thank you everybody. Like I said, we're trying to build this thing up, man. But we're going to get started. We have some as soon as Jordan gets here, or at least if he even doesn't, at 8:35 we're going to get started with the actual the weekend roundup. Just talking about everything. We got a good show. I think we got a good show. And we won't have Yukon Cornelius's money picks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Jordan don't show up. We're 9.6 thousand. 9.6.
It wasn't too long ago he tagged us on TikTok.
I know.
So
he was all hyped for it. I know he wants to be here, so I don't know. Maybe he
was in.
Maybe he
like
forgot.
He was in Murfreesboro.
Maybe he forgot it was Central Time.
Where he was at looked like the one right off of Stone River.
Yeah.
Right there.
All right. Like I said, appreciate everybody giving us the hearts. Like I said, if you can tap that screen, we're trying to get to 10,000. We're going to get on the For You page before we get started. Like I said, I think we got some good stuff to talk about. And just know Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia fans, we're going to talk about all the best things in college football. So if it's worth talking about, we're going to try to talk about it. And once we start the podcast, we're going to try to go through the content, and then we're going to have questions and stuff at the end. So sooner we get through the content, the quicker we can get to the questions and all the comments and stuff. 9.8 thousand, guys. 9.8 thousand. Appreciate it all. Like I said, give me 4 minutes for my buddy to show up, and if he don't show up, you're gonna have the trio here. I'm pretty sure we can. I'm pretty sure we can handle it though. Slapping them cheeks. Sure. Thank you, bro. We're at 10,000. We're at 10,000. We're good. We're gonna go ahead. 10,000. I get Chris's picks pulled up as soon as we get close to that top 25. I have Chris's picks. Don't let me forget that. Like I said, any last minute questions before we get started? Like I said, we got 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We're gonna wait for Jordan for 3 minutes, and we're gonna take off. Take off. Any last minute question from the chat? Last minute questions. Like I said, I got a feeling. We're gonna surprise y'all tonight. Tony ain't. Tony's still gonna be Tony. He's still gonna Tennessee Homer.
Shit. Yeah, you know damn well I'm not a Tennessee homer.
I know. You were actually anything but. You're anything but. I think after this,
a lot of shit about my team more than anyone else's team. So
after last week, I think you were calm. I was going. You weren't calm at work, but you calmed down.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, he was not calm at work.
Oh, Tony Wyatt said, "What's the most stressful QB for you guys?"
Jarrett Garantano, piece of shit. See, you got Jonathan Crompton a long time ago, piece of shit. See.
Oh my
really,
God.
Those were the two fucking worst, I think, since I've been alive that play for the Vols.
Oh my God, dude.
And that's just been over the last, 14 years.
Oh
so it's been a carousel. It's gotten better lately, I guess. Yeah. I mean, Hendon Hooker, that was the best since T. Martin. I give Eric Ainge a little credit. He wasn't terrible. So he won a couple big games for him.
All right,
And Clausen was another one. He's all right.
slapping them cheeks. Worst OC, Dunn or Luttrell? Dunn or Luttrell? Who are they for slapping them cheeks? I don't know those names. I apologize. I mean, if you tell me the teams, that's probably going to tell us all we need to know. But is that a Tennessee thing?
We've done is Oklahoma State.
Oh, Oklahoma State. Okay, OSU and OU. Oh, okay. Well, in all honesty, I think OU did a terrible job replacing Levy, but it also depends on the QB, and I think their QB play has been a kind of mediocre. So I'm going to say worst is probably OSU. I just don't.
Yeah,
I mean, you got the best running back in the league, and you haven't done anything with them. So
I would agree because Oklahoma, you got to look at the injuries they got to their wide receiver room and the fact that they've switched to a freshman quarterback from a sophomore quarterback. So OSU has a lot more and done a lot less. So, well, maybe not a lot less, but they have done less with more.
Who was better, Stafford or AJ McCarron in college?
Stafford.
Yeah.
I mean, Stafford
didn't have to do anything but turn around and hand the ball.
Stats, but one of them's a winner. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and one of them's a winner.
That's called riding coattails.
Hey, dude owns a sushi bar in Tuscaloosa, and he's anyway.
Cool.
All right, we're about to get started. Here we go.
He's on the sled.
Who was it? Wyatt wanted to know the quarterbacks. I'm gonna throw out 3 names from Georgia because we've been blessed with some pretty good quarterbacks through the years.
Go ahead.
I'll throw out 3 names, Brandon. See if you remember them.
Okay.
Mason.
Who?
Hudson Mason. Joe Tereshinski.
No.
And Joe Cox.
Joe Cox. I remember that bald little guy. I mean, I can say that because I'm bald, so I can say that. Yeah, that guy was as white as a ghost. All right. Hey, we're going to get started, y'all. Let me get this intro out of the way, and we're going to jump into the content. Like I said, I think it'll be good. All right. All right. Welcome to the weekend roundup on Lock, Loaded, and Goated. I'm your host, Brandon Andrews. I'm accompanied by Tony Pardo at the top, Jeff Riddle Jr. in the middle. And like I said, today, this is the Wednesday weekend roundup. Agenda for today, we've got a couple topics we want to talk about, some hot takes. We're asking for opinions. Like I said, we'll share and we'll talk about the opinions at the end of the show. Give us some time to go through everything. We got some marquee matchups, breakdown, top 25 selections. And if Jordan shows up, we got the UConn Cornelius solid gold picks for the weekend for y'all betting fans out there. And then we got some closing comments we're going to discuss. So first topic. We want to talk about the Army-Navy dynamic with both of them being undefeated, both of them being in the top 25 rankings this week. First time in quite a while, and I'm going to let Jeff Riddle kind of start off, and we'll comment from there.
Yeah, so exciting for me. I'm pulling for both of them because I really want to see that we talked about last week, that double matchup at the end of the year. But pretty cool that they're both in the top 25 for the first time since 1960. They're also undefeated this late in the year for the first time since 1945. And of course, that was World War II when everybody was going to the service academies. Both teams have had exceptional quarterback play. Found this stat interesting when I was looking this up, that Army's quarterback is averaging 6.9 yards per carry and 13 yards per drop back. He's ranked 4th nationally in total QBR. Which is fantastic. But then if you look at Blake Horvath, Navy, he's averaging 8.6 yards per carry and 11.8 yards per drop back, and he's 1st nationally in QBR. So exceptional quarterback play from Bryson Daly and Blake Horvath, and I hope they continue playing well because I would love to see both of them teams beat Notre Dame and both of them be undefeated going into the conference championship game and then potentially having to play again right after it. So that would be fantastic for me. Army's remaining schedule is home against ECU, home against Air Force, at North Texas, neutral site against Notre Dame, and then home against UTSA. Navy's remaining schedule is home against Charlotte, neutral site against Notre Dame, at Rice, at South Florida, home against Tulane, and at ECU. So continue playing the way they've been playing. Yep. I think they got a really good chance to make things interesting there for that Group of 5 bid if Boise State stumbles.
Yeah. What do you got, Tony?
Riddle touched on a little bit of it. How they're 5-0 late into this fall. Because back then
Big deal.
they were like the Georgia and Alabama of their time.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's what they did. But we know what they are. They both run the ball relentlessly. A lot of people still love that. I know everybody likes to see all the, air attack,
run the damn
all
ball,
that other shit. Yeah, just run the damn ball. Run the damn ball wins you games.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you can run the ball and block. You can beat anyone.
Yeah.
And and what's crazy is actually Navy's stepped their game up a little bit. They've actually attempted almost 100 passes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's unheard of. That's unheard of for them for a while.
Right.
Really, it's good for both of these teams to be, good. 5-0 this late in the season already. College football really needs it. What's also impressive? I didn't know it. They can't even use NIL money. They're not permitted to. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I did not know
impressive.
that. So yeah, doing all that, and I know they haven't played like top-notch SEC competition stuff like that, but they could probably give most teams a run for the money. Hopefully, that'll be always overrated Notre Dame. But that's the truth. That's what they are.
All right.
But, also, one more quick thing on that. Touching on what Tony said, they can't use NIL. They also can't use the transfer portal unless somebody joins the service academy. So
you have to have a congressional nomination to join a service academy. I don't think you're going to get that just by transfer.
This day and age of college football, with it basically being free agency, they can't use any of it.
Yeah. All right. So one more caveat to that, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. So I will say this. We talked briefly this weekend about some of the challenges and some of the issues with Army playing back-to-back weeks, Army-Navy playing back-to-back weeks potentially for the AAC championship, and then obviously for the Army-Navy game. So another thing that I just thought about today, and I wanted to bring this up. So if they were to get a playoff spot after the winner got a playoff spot after that AAC championship game, they play the Army-Navy game, they now have one less week to rest before they go into the playoffs than every other team in college football. And to me, that's a huge impact for a school like that, because I'm just going to be honest with you. If Army or Navy make it, that's going to be America's team, and everyone is going to be rooting for them. I mean, you got your team, you got the team you're going to root for, but outside of that team, everyone's going to tune in and going to watch them play the game. I just know it's going to happen. So, okay, moving on to the next topic here. So this is one we kind of wanted to touch on. It's kind of slowed down a little bit now that we know he's going to play, but Travis Hunter got hurt in the game on Saturday, hurt his shoulder, had to leave the game, and he's supposed to play this week, and Deion seems kind of confident. But what are your opinions, Tony, on his playing time and the impact it could have on his draft status?
Playing time. If Deion says he's going to play, he's probably going to play. I would say most of the game. Now, I don't know if he's going to put like a snap count, on him on each side of the ball, because you know how he is. He likes to play DB and wide receiver.
Yeah.
He might have to put a little bit of cap on it, but I don't know, because if they want to win, you got to kind of have to have him out there. Defense side of the ball, especially, they've been better somewhat this year, a little more stingy than what they were last year. They were god awful last year defensively. They've been better at that. If Travis Hunter is good to go, he's probably going to play. I don't think he's trying to intentionally miss out. I'm sure he wants to perform well, wants to help Colorado win, and Deion, because Deion's pretty much been his daddy since he has entered into college football play. Now, as for his stock and draft and all that, I don't think this injury, and even if say if he was to get hurt in this upcoming game, like severity of it, hell, he's still going to be probably a top 5, top 10 pick.
But you got to admit it. ACL tear blows his chance at being a top 5 pick. I mean,
maybe, I'm not. It just depends.
I'm just saying,
depends on the team.
You'd be betting on a recovery, and this dude's so dynamic in his speed and his shiftiness, everything. You'd be betting on the fact that he's back to his old self. We know that's not always easy. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
Hey, Detroit did it with Jameson Williams, and it paid off.
100%. He is fantastic.
I don't think if he was injured,
took him a couple years though, Riddle. It took him a couple years.
I agree.
Yeah. So, Riddle, what do you got? What do you got on this?
Oh, he's expected to play. I think he's going to play.
Yeah, he's going to play.
I think that Genty has established himself at the top of the Heisman conversation.
100%. Yeah,
like Hunter's going to have to come back, and he's going to have to play like he's been playing, and then do more now. And with these injuries, I don't think, like Tony said, I don't think it's going to affect his draft stock. I think the kid's too talented and too special to be looked over in the draft. If I'm a GM, I'm wanting a guy like him. Now, convincing him to just play one way, convincing him to play one way in the NFL might be the hardest thing that a GM has to do. But as far as his draft stock, I don't think that's going to be affected too much. Yeah. But you always are concerned about injuries, and you might have to start thinking about limiting his stats or his snaps. And that's the thing, is the reason he went to play at Jackson State for Deion to begin with was because Deion was going to let him play both ways, and that's what he wants to do. So I don't want to see him get injured. I want to see him keep playing. I want to see him keep doing great things like he has been, but I mean, the injuries the last couple of years are a slight cause for concern. Jimmy Horn is expected to play also this weekend, so that's big news too. Shedeur Sanders has been sacked 23 times this year. Hopefully they can keep a defense off of him, but I wish him well. But yeah, Travis Hunter still at the top of the list of best players in college football this year.
So Jordan, let me finish this up, then we'll move on to the next topic and get you looped in here. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan just finally showed up here. So Travis Hunter, it's all right, man. We understand. 44 of the 45 snaps on Saturday is what he played when he got hurt. So one play off the field. He is averaging over 100 snaps in his career at Colorado per game. Yep. So my question is the two-way play for Colorado worth losing your best player on either the offensive or defensive side of the ball? That's the question I'm asking. And like I said, he's at plus 2,500, give or take, depending on which site you look at for the Heisman now. Heisman's over. So at this point, Colorado is playing pretty decent ball. I mean, what point do you save your best player? I think he's better on defense. I think we all said that last week. I think he's a defensive player in the NFL. And I just didn't know what you guys thought in terms of where do you, as far as Travis Hunter, where do you start trying to shut down? I know he's a competitor. I know he wants the ball in his hand, but where do you try to start shutting down and preparing for your career? Not sitting out games. We don't condone that here, but in terms of, hey, we need to slow down a hair because I don't want to get hurt and impact my future. But anyway, we're going to move on. I got a hot take for you guys. Kind of gave you a little hint, but I haven't given you much, so I wanted to see how you squirm. Hot take. I'm going to let Jordan lead this one when I ask the question because he just showed up and we haven't let him talk yet. And so hot take is Ryan Day on the hot seat for Ohio State.
No.
Okay.
Ryan Day is not on the hot seat, but Ryan Day cannot win the big games when it matters.
That's valid.
But at the same time, I mean, the guys, not taking a shot here, Jeff, to make like this, but Ryan Day may be Ohio State's Mark Richt. He's that guy that's going to win 10, 11 games a year, but never win the ones that matter.
Yeah. So, Riddle, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump in here, but like Ryan Day is 2 of 6 versus AP top 5 teams. He has lost. Well, he's lost his last 4 in a row. The last one he won was in 22 versus Notre Dame. So he is 1-3 against Michigan. And at this point, I talked to an Ohio State fan just today and asked them their opinion on this topic. An Ohio State fan told me, diehard from Ohio, said, absolutely not. He's not on the hot seat. If he loses to Michigan, we want him gone. So
that makes sense.
But my question to you guys, and Riddle, I'll throw it up to you, is I told you in the 12-team playoff era, you could go 11-1, 10-2 every year with Ryan Day and make the playoffs every year and have a shot at a title. Would you take it? Because that's what you're saying with Ryan Day.
So my opinion on the matter is no. And knowing a couple of Ohio State fans myself, they losing to Michigan
Yeah.
is like the capital sin. Losing to Michigan 3 years in a row is damn near unforgivable. There was talks of his seat being hot last year when he lost to him for the third time. But, he's lost to Oregon twice. And Jordan, you're right when you said he might be Ohio State's Mark Richt, because Mark Richt averaged 10 wins a year for 15 years, but we never won anything. So I think the fans will they might already be, but they'll start calling for his head because he can't win those big ones. And all they got to do is convince the boosters to buy him out. And that's the day and age of college football that we're in. So I think if I had to pick today, I would say him beating Michigan's pretty safe this year. And if that saves his job, then that'll save his job. But I would say I wouldn't put him on the hot seat yet, but I would say that seat is getting really warm.
So, Tony, knowing that he has a $20 million roster, Chip Kelly on offense, Jim Knowles on defense, what's your take on it?
Well, like you said, they've spent the most money, NIL money, out of any school, reportedly $20 million. I'm all for firing people, y'all know.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
If I was an Ohio State fan, I wouldn't say, he needs to be gone. Okay. But he's done everything for Ohio State, right? Except win the Natty.
Yeah. Because he's won a playoff game. He's won a playoff game.
Yeah, but he does fall short yearly of expectations, because what is the expectations? Like we said, that's to win championships,
especially at Ohio State.
This is 6 year, right? 6 year. Yeah, you're 6 years in. You haven't had any titles yet. You're on a 3-game losing streak to Michigan, and yet you have all this plethora of talent across the board.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, again, I'm all for firing people. I'm not going to say that he should be, but I feel like if he does lose to Michigan, like y'all said again, that's obviously not going to win over fans' hearts. It's not going to win over the school's heart. You know, they will consider it. I don't care what anyone says.
If he drops 4 in a row, especially to this year's version of Michigan, he's gone.
Oh, I know. And
so Jordan, on that point, we're gonna try to move on, but on that point, each of y'all get one word answer. Who replaces him? Jordan, you go. Because that's
Chip Kelly.
Okay, Riddle.
I was going to say Chip Kelly, because it's the easy hire. I would love to see bring Urban Meyer back.
So Urban is on my list. Urban is on my list because he failed at Jacksonville. Maybe he comes back and says, "Hey, I'm not washed up." Tony, up top. I feel like there's a guy that's on the tip of your tongue. You need to say.
Ask me that question again. Kimberly came in here and brought me
some
food.
Basically, who does Ohio State hire if they were to fire Day?
Oh, it's gonna be a big name. Top of my fucking head, who I'm trying to think right now.
I got a big one.
You have a big one? I'm trying to think of someone that's
they both said Chip Kelly. And I think that's the obvious answer.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
I think his time's done.
All right. Well,
you can't go Chip Kelly.
We're gonna move on, and we're not gonna go into it too much. But I'm gonna say Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, an Ohio State guy.
Ohio State boy, yeah.
Yeah, and so
he's an Ohio State guy.
He is 100%. And he wasn't a terrible coach for the Titans. He just wasn't a good coach. He wasn't a good coach. But
he's overrated though.
How many people have failed in the NFL and went on to do wondrous things in college football? Urban Meyer, Nick Saban, Steve Spurrier, all these big names. And
Brandon,
just go ahead.
Yeah, we might add Chip Kelly back to that list.
Jimbo. Perkins said Jimbo. That's just the joke of the day.
Yeah, all right. You want to run your team into the dumpster. Yeah.
All right. So here we go. We're going to get into the marquee matchups of the week. So we're looking at the ranked matchups. We picked the top 3 that we wanted to talk about, things that we thought were interesting. And so marquee matchup number 1, we're going to go with Michigan versus Illinois. Tony, give me your breakdown. Who wins?
Oh, God. Well, here's the breakdown. First off, big yawn. Who wins? Well, I'll get to that after I spew all this bullshit here. Who would have thought this shit would be a marquee matchup? Like I said, because I still don't believe it. But anyways, neither team does anything particularly well. I'll say that. I'll give them that. And I guess we can give the edge to Michigan running game. Their running game still not, top premier like it was under Harbaugh. But I mean, it's still better. Illinois. What do they do? What do they do well? But they throw the ball around. They can't run the ball.
Yeah,
they're not very strong up front. They're not strong up front.
Okay.
We're talking about these two shit can teams as a marquee matchup.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any interest in this game. And I'll say that the last time Illinois, I can't even take them seriously. The last time they played against someone, and Michigan doesn't have a great defense, by the way, but the last time they even played against anyone that had a somewhat defense that was considered great, which is Penn State, and look how they look against USC, they only scored 7 points.
Oh my God!
7 lousy points.
These comments.
And they didn't even look that great against Nebraska either. Nebraska, they haven't really. Yeah, they beat Nebraska.
Yeah,
Riola, he's going to be a good quarterback. Like he really
will
is.
He will. We watched that game together.
Yeah, their offense, Nebraska offense right now, it's just all Riola. That's why they struggle.
Yeah.
They barely pull out some games here and there. Yeah. But give me Michigan, I guess. I mean, hell, okay. Tickets are $92. Illinois doesn't give 2 shits about football.
Yay! All right, we're going down the list. We're going to Riddle. Riddle, you're next.
All right. So what I found out about these two teams are they are as close to being similar and being completely different at the same time. Illinois is 5-1.
I can't handle
allowing 20 points per game, scoring 31 points per game. Michigan's 4-2, 22.3 points per game allowed, and scoring 23.5. Michigan's defense does have 17 sacks, 6 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 defensive touchdowns on the year. Their QB room for Michigan combined for the year is 81 of 133 for 690 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, which means they cannot do much through the air. Okay. That is a big cause for concern. They've already lost to Texas. Luke Altmaier, former Ole Miss guy, turned Illinois Fighting Illini guy.
Yep.
He's 111 for 164, 1,426 yards, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. Illinois' defense got 14 sacks, 7 interceptions, 7 forced fumbles, and 1 touchdown on the year. Obviously, the key to victory for Illinois this weekend would be to stop the run. If you stack the box and you can stop the run, I don't know if Michigan can do anything.
So who's winning?
I will say that when we go through our top 25 picks, because Michigan is a 1-point favorite.
Yeah.
And
no, that line's moved.
Has it moved? What is it now? 3?
3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and give mine before we go to Jordan. So the biggest thing that I take away from this game is Illinois, the last time they were on the field, had a complete collapse against Purdue. One of the worst I've ever seen in football in terms of second half. That was atrocious. It makes me question this whole team. Altmaier has done some wonderful things this year. I'm really happy that Illinois is doing well. I think that it's good for that, that state, good for that program. Michigan's offense sucks. Illinois' offense is allowing 20 points per game, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know if Illinois can score 20 points against Michigan. Like Tony said, the last time they played Penn State, they were held to 7 points in a game that was absolutely a snore fest. It was literally like watching paint dry on the wall. The under, I guess the line is 43.5 over under, and I don't even know if they'll hit that. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be like I'm thinking it's an old fashioned Iowa game here with 9-6. But with that said, I'm taking Illinois. I'm taking Illinois because I think for some reason I had Michigan circled, guys, but I think Illinois and Altmaier. I don't know what it is. I think Michigan's in shambles, and I hate Michigan, so I just. For some reason, I think Altmaier finds a way. Jordan, you're up. What do you got?
Man, y'all have covered this game about all you can. At first, I was looking to see if this was a look-ahead spot for anybody. Michigan has Michigan State and Oregon, both at home coming up next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But Illinois goes to Oregon next week. So, I mean, you can't think, nobody's looking ahead right here.
Yeah.
This is a must-win game for both these teams because Oregon's fixing to steamroll both of them. If I was going to bet this game at all, it would be the under. What year did Alabama play LSU in the BCS title game? Was that
2011? That was 2011.
Okay. This game may very well wind up like that regular season matchup that
9-6.
that LSU took. So was it 6-3, 9-6?
9-6, yeah.
For very different reasons, not because they're both great teams, just because they can't. Both of them have obvious deficiencies. They're both one-dimensional offenses. You got a passing game versus a running game.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you stack the box on Michigan, can they throw? I'm not sure. Luke Altmaier against a competent defense.
I don't know.
I don't think you'll have the numbers we're used to seeing, but this is a Brett Bulimia kind of game. It's going to be a rock fight.
Another rock fight.
Another rock fight 2.0.
All right.
But if I had to pick a side, I would take Illinois, especially now that it's at 3.5. Take the hook on the 3.
Yeah.
And hold your nose and hope for the best.
All right. All right. So we're gonna save the best for last. So we're going to go to marquee matchup number 2, one that we should all be familiar with, and that is the Alabama-UT rivalry, the third Saturday in October. This is one for the history books, boys. This is a game that a lot of history here. A lot of great teams have taken this field on the third Saturday in October, and I want to hear what Jordan thinks and who's going to win this game.
Oh, boy, the third Saturday in October. Both teams are going to come limping into this matchup off of struggle wins and upset losses.
Yep.
Tennessee, the offense has been atrocious since conference play started. I'm not sure I have the answers there right now.
You can
but
wait.
This Alabama team has the worst defense Alabama's had in probably 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're looking right now at struggle versus struggle, and who's going to come out ahead. It's tough. Tennessee's defense has been as advertised. Although losing Keenan Pili for the year is a blow. I mean, that's your defensive quarterback.
That's a big one.
That hurts. That hurts. Luckily, you survived last week after it. You've had a week to kind of reroute your defense, your 10 banks, and decide who's going to be kind of calling the signals in for your defense. And I'm sure they'll be ready to go. It's a rivalry game. Both sides are going to be fired up. Nobody wants to lose this one because you hate the other side so bad you don't want them to have that joy for a year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what it is. It's good old-fashioned hate.
It is. Get your pick.
It's been a long time since Coach Phil Fulmer held that nice 12-5 career record against the Tide. Back when I was a kid, that was just, Alabama was like Vanderbilt. That was a win and you move on.
Yep.
But I believe Coach Heupel gets 2 in a row in Knoxville this week. I think it's going to be maybe a last possession game, which is what both teams have played the last 2 to 3 weeks.
All right, we're gonna move on to Tony. Tony, who you got and why?
All right, well, Tennessee, solid defensively, very bad offensively. And yeah, just throw the stats out. I don't want to hear anything about stats because stats don't always tell the truth. Shit's inflated. They haven't done shit really since they entered SEC competition. So, anyways,
it's not wrong.
Alabama trash defensively, and mid to slightly good offensively. Not terrible, but they can move the ball here and there. Really don't, like George said, I really don't have a fucking clue who's gonna win this night. See, this is how it's gonna go. Tennessee's offense will make Bama's defense look like world beaters, or Alabama's defense is going to be absolutely booty cheeks and allows Tennessee to score 30 plus. I don't know which
probably
way
the
it's gonna
latter. Probably the latter.
go. You say that, but you say that, but I don't know.
We don't.
have high hopes on this one.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm on the side of Tennessee's offense making. I'm kind of leaning towards it. Better be. This is a get right game for Nico. It's a fucking get right game. Get right. I'm kind of on the side of Tennessee offense making Bama's defense look good.
All right. There you go.
But I'm not done, motherfucker.
All right, come on.
Because that's where the game's going to be won. It's going to come down Nico, because our run game, it's good, but all Bama should play one safety high and dare his ass to throw down the field and try to stuff our run game if they want to win. But I don't have trust in Nico right now, but I'm going to say Tennessee wins by defense, and this is a game for Pierce to finally make his statement game. He hasn't had a big one yet this year. That's what I'm counting on, because they've been limiting his snaps because we're so deep. So they need to give him about 15 more plays.
They better put him on the right side. That's the weak side.
This 25 play shit for him's got to stop. Get his ass out there. And another big thing, Milroe is a mobile quarterback, right? And you got a defense coordinator, Tim Banks, who's notoriously terrible defending mobile quarterbacks. I've seen it many times. A mobile quarterback just eat our ass up. Not throwing a ball, but just running, because Tim Banks refuses to put a spy or anything on these mobile quarterbacks. And we'll see if this changes. So I am going to give Tennessee a nod just because they're at home, first off. And they're going to win, not because the kid that's getting paid $8 million. So.
Okay. So Riddle, me and you are limited on time now because Tony was so long-winded. But with that said, Riddle, go ahead.
I'll just get to my key points. They're both 5-1. They're both scoring, over 40 points a game. Tennessee's only allowing 10.6. Dylan Sampson's rushed for 100 yards in every game this season except for the Oklahoma game. He had 92 yards. The big thing that stood out to me when I was looking this up is Iam Aliava has had 4 straight games with less than 200 yards passing. Ooh. Booker had one such game in 2022, and it was against Georgia. Milton last year only had 2 such games, and it was against A&M and Georgia.
Oh my God.
So that's cause for concern.
That's a stat right there.
Y'all touched on this. It's basically Tennessee's offensive woes against Alabama's defensive woes. I want to see how Milroe plays this weekend. He's going to be a big key player in this game. He's been sacked 11 times this year, has 4 interceptions, 3 fumbles, 2 lost, and he took that ugly safety on that intentional grounding in the end zone against South Carolina.
Thank you for bringing it back up.
For me, I put some key players down. Obviously, Milroe and Williams have to do their thing for Alabama. Yeah. Tennessee, James Pierce and Amar Norman Lott. I think they need to have days defensively. The keys for me was Tennessee's got to establish the run. They've got to be able to run the ball, control the clock, keep that offense off the field, force Milroe into some turnovers on defense. Don't let him get comfortable and run the ball. And then for Alabama, it's Milroe creating the big plays and protecting the football. And then Ryan Williams. Let Ryan Williams be Ryan Williams. So I'll save my pick for our top 25.
Well, I'm going to jump into this. I'm going to try to be quick. So this is University of Awful versus University of Terrible. This game is going to be an absolute shit show. I'm just saying it. I'm an Alabama fan, been an Alabama fan as long as anybody. And Alabama's defense is 55. We're down there in the pits of hell below the lowly UConn Huskies on defense. So UConn's number 51. So when I tell you we're a shit show, we're a shit show. Peely being out gives us a little hope, because maybe they're just so fucking clueless that they don't have a clue what they're doing, and maybe we can take advantage of that, but I doubt it. I think Nico has a big game. We have a suspect secondary. We have a suspect secondary, Tony. You don't have to throw the ball deep on this defense. You can throw it just wherever you want it to, and they're going to let you be open. It doesn't matter. And Nico's legs win it for him, and I'm actually going with Tennessee beating Alabama.
Wow.
I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong in this game.
You got a cigar I can borrow?
How
Then?
much
No.
did that hate? How much did that hurt to say that?
I would love to be wrong, but home field home field gives UT the advantage. I mean, there's home field gives. It's worth 3 points in the SEC, sometimes 4 when it's a night game, but it's luckily not at night. But I'll be honest with you, I got UT winning, and I'm absolutely just. I have no faith in this team on defense, and that's why I'm going with UT, because even as bad as UT is, defense wins championships. Defense is going to win this game for UT, and we don't have one. So that being said, we're going to get off this soapbox, and we're going to move on to the big game, the highlight of the weekend, and we're going to turn it to Riddle. But UGA versus Texas, 1 versus 5. This is the showdown we've all been waiting for. This is the stats that we all want to hear. Riddle, who went? Just give us your rundown. You can tell us who wins later.
So the big thing is Texas is outscoring their opponents this year 259-38. They're allowing 6.3 points per game while scoring 43.1. I'll get to that in just a minute. Georgia only outscoring opponents 201-103. Defense is allowing 17.1 points per game. You look a little deeper into that stat looks a lot better than it actually is. Georgia doesn't have a single 100-yard rusher this year in any game. Only 4 last year. Kirby does like to use a lot of backs in the backfield. Not a lot of options this year or this week with some injuries and stuff. Kirby spoke about the secondary and how they're not winning the 50-50 balls, and he doesn't even think they've won one all year, which is a little bit of an exaggeration, but he's not too far off. Texas defense, they play great football. 7 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, 1 touchdown, 18 sacks on the year for that defense. Anthony Hill Jr. has 42 tackles, 4.5 sacks, an interception, and a forced fumble. And then Colin Simmons, the other linebacker, has 23 tackles, 15 solo, 4 sacks, and a forced fumble. Georgia's going to have to be better in the secondary going against Isaiah Bond and Ryan Wingo if Bond plays. I know he's questionable. They expect him to play, but still he's probable, but something to look into. Can Georgia make enough big plays and get the offense going early? That's another big question because they've had slow starts, and it's a Mike Bobo offense, just the jab, 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 but it didn't work out too well against Alabama. Got so far behind that we had to claw back the whole second half, which y'all let us back in the game, but still.
Yeah.
My big stat talking about the Texas defense, they've been good, they've played good, they've done what they were supposed to do, but they have not faced a scoring offense ranked higher than 71 in the nation this year.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's 102, Colorado State's 107, UTSA's 105, Louisiana Monroe's 105, Mississippi State is 71, and Oklahoma's is 96 ranked nationally. So this will be the best test against a higher caliber offense for that defense, which will be interesting. Keys to victory, Beck has to have a fast start. They have to sustain some drives. Can't let Ewers get comfortable on defense, and that secondary has to play so much better. For Texas is just dominate defensively. Those wide receivers against our secondary, if they can have big games, they're gonna roll, and this could get ugly. And you got to watch out for Gunnar Helm too, the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
He could cause some matchup issues for Georgia, and so it's there are avenues to victory for Georgia, but they're going to have to play a lot better than they have to this point this year.
Okay. All right, we're going to go back up top to Tony. Tony, your keys to this game.
Well, keys to the game, Georgia's got to be able to run the ball. Georgia's got to be able to run the ball this time. Like Riddle touched on pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
Georgia has to run the ball because that's been their go-to for what? I don't know, pretty much since Kirby's
bread and butter,
the Nick Saban type of field to Georgia. And this year, right now, it's not there. I'm not saying they can't get there, but it doesn't look like the same Georgia that we've watched for at least the 5 years. They haven't really been dominating. Defensive line, especially, no, you've seen that secondary sus. Obviously, we've seen it. They've given up some big plays. That's not like a Georgia team that we've seen over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
All Texas has to do is just show up and play how they've been playing. And Georgia's the one who has to make the adjustments, really. So,
Cool.
So I mean, they got the number one in Texas. You know, it's kind of a flip because normally Georgia's in this spot.
Yeah, 100%.
Georgia has the number one defense. Now it's flipped. Now Texas is rolling. They got a quarterback. They got the weapons outside. They got a run game. They got this and that. It's not looking good for the Dogs.
Are you going with Texas?
But
You going with Texas?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Texas, but I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a blowout. Now it will be a blowout if they can't run the ball. If they can't take over Trench, they're done.
Okay, Jordan, give us your thoughts.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a little lazy on this one because I knew my man Jeff would have this covered every which way on stats.
Yep. Feelings.
The key to this game is going to rely on Georgia's defense. I mean, Texas is averaging 500 yards a game.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they haven't played, even that win over Michigan's not looking that great right now, But Michigan has a live defense.
Yeah.
But Texas is so balanced. I mean, they're averaging 300 passing, 200 rushing every game, doing what they want when they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Can Georgia find a way to stop them? From what I've seen of the Georgia secondary, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think Texas will just blow the doors off of them. Yeah. But, I mean, I think this will be maybe a, 31-24, 38-31 kind of game.
Okay.
But I'm taking the Horns.
Taking the Horns. All right. I'm going to give
UT Junior.
UT Junior. Right. He's taking UT Junior. So here's the deal. So this is what I'm going to boil it down to. Riddle covered the stats. I mean, Texas has the number one defense, unlike anything we've seen here lately, because Georgia, Alabama, usually the dominant forces in the country. Texas is clearly the most balanced team, the best defense. Texas's key win is against Michigan, which, like Jordan, Riddle, everyone said, that's not looking so great. Nobody cares about Michigan right now. Georgia's key win is against Clemson, which is looking better and better every single week. And it's looking like it's starting to really get good because Klubnik's playing good ball and Clemson's really looking like they're coming along and playing good, good team ball. And with that said, Georgia's not Georgia this year. They don't run the ball well. Their secondary is kind of suspect. They kind of just, we let Alabama get by us, this, that, and the other. With that said, Georgia's defensive strength is their front seven this year. Texas isn't going to be able to run the ball on them. Carson Beck is still a damn first-round pick with studs all around him. I've got Georgia and the Dogs beating Texas at Texas. I think they're going to be a real rude awakening for Texas and that welcome to the SEC moment. That's what I've got. That's what I've got now. Whether that's crazy or not, they've got studs. Their running backs are studs. And don't think for a second those receivers aren't 4 and 5 stars. Just because they haven't showed up for you yet doesn't mean they're not 4 or 5.
Well, see, that's the problem. Years past, Georgia's always had a playmaker show up.
Carson Beck is throwing for over 300 yards a game. This dude's not having trouble distributing the ball. So it's not like he doesn't have options. The only thing that hasn't happened is the run game, and that O-line is as good as anybody. I don't care what anybody says. There's first rounders all over that O-line. I'm gonna go against the grain, and I'm picking Georgia to tell Texas this is what we do. Texas doesn't lose to anybody but one team. I mean, I'm sorry, Georgia doesn't lose to anybody but one team, and they've already played them. So there it is. There it is. All right. With that said, we're moving on to our top 25 rundown. With this, we're going to be a little faster. Give me a couple of one-liners. Give me a couple of zingers. And then we're going to just, like I said, give Riddle time to write them all down. But we're going to go over the picks. I have Chris's picks. I will pick last because I'll go over the both of ours together. We're going to start off with the Oregon-Purdue game. Tony, who you got?
Oregon. Purdue's trash. They were lucky enough last week to do what they did against Illinois, but Illinois is bad too, so whatever.
All right, Riddle.
Oregon. It's going to be bad. I would take the points in this one.
Yeah. All right.
Or take the spread. They're going to cover.
Jordan.
Oregon.
Okay. So I got Chris with Oregon, and just kind of sum it all up. Oregon. I got Oregon too. I think Purdue was a fluke last week, and I don't think they do anything remotely close to what they did last week against Oregon. So Oregon. Next, we're going to Oklahoma State and BYU. Tony, who you got?
Got BYU. I got to roll with them. They taught me a lesson last week. They spanked me. So I'll go with them this week.
All right. Go ahead, Riddle.
I got BYU. Their defense in the Big 12 is top notch for that conference, and yeah, I think they win handily this week.
So Jordan, I'm going to make it a little more complicated on you. Are you going to go with the mullet or the Mormons, and essentially, do they cover?
Man, I'm going with the Storm and Mormons. If you can find it anything under 10, 9.5 or better, I think they cover. It's Provo. It's Friday night. That place is going to be rocking, and that place is a house of horrors for anybody that visits.
It's going to be fun
when the sun goes down.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. All right. Okay. Next we got Miami and Louisville. Spread kind of surprised me on this one. Tony, who you got?
I need yours and Chris's on.
I'm sorry. BYU. BYU
State.
on both. BYU both. Apologize. Got excited there when he said Storm and Mormon.
Storm and Mormon.
So
back to
my feed froze. Did y'all both take BYU?
Both took BYU. Yeah, both took BYU.
Okay, sorry.
No big deal. Tony, who you got? Yeah, who you got, Tony?
I'm going to take Miami. Louisville has a little bit of firepower offensively, but they've been slumping as of late. Defense isn't very good outside of the run defense for them. But with that being said, Cam Ward might go over 100 yards on the ground by himself against them anyway. So this isn't an upset. Miami's going to win and blowout.
Okay. Riddle.
Went back and forth on this game quite a few times because Miami has had some recent struggles against teams you wouldn't expect them to struggle with. I do think Cam Ward will end up being the difference in this game, and I took Miami.
Jordan.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Miami. I mean, Cam Ward is the X factor. I mean, Miami's got a big rival in Florida State on deck next week. There'll be no look ahead to that. Florida State is awful. I mean, they may get handled by Duke Friday night. They play Friday maybe. But, I mean, this is not a classic, like, oh, hey, rival next week. That might be a look ahead spot. No, they'll be focused fully on Louisville. Cam Ward is the difference maker.
All right. So Chris picked Louisville. So Chris picked Louisville. He said upset is coming, and I'm just here to tell I'm here to tell him that he's wrong. Miami's going to win, although I hope he's right, because I'd love nothing more than those smug ass Miami fans just to fall flat on their face. And I'm looking at you, Perkins. Anyway,
so Brandon, who did you take?
I picked Miami.
Okay.
So all right, moving on to the next game. I think we got UVA versus Clemson. Who you got, Tony?
Taking Clemson. They're going to dominate both sides of football. I'll take Clemson and covering the spread too. Why not?
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. All right, Riddle, what do you got?
I'm taking Clemson in this game. We talked about it briefly just a minute ago with their opener against Georgia. They just didn't look good, and Georgia dominated that game from start to finish. It was a slow start for Georgia. But ever since then, Clemson has looked fantastic in every game that they've played.
Yep.
I think they win this one pretty easily.
All right. Big Red down there below. What you got?
I mean, it's Clemson, man. I mean, when's the last time that Virginia's had a competent football team? It's been a couple decades.
It's been a while. Chris has Clemson, and I've got Clemson. So moving on to the next one, Nebraska and Indiana. This is one I was torn about. Tony, what do you got?
Oh God. Well, the Patrick Mahomes impersonator, he's been struggling a bit late, and overall the offense struggled. I touched on that a little bit earlier. Indiana, I mean, they have a pretty good quarterback themselves. They'll put points on the board. I don't know if Nebraska can keep up. So I'm going to take Indiana, and I know some people might take Nebraska just because Patrick Mahomes Jr., but I'm taking Indiana.
Okay. Riddle.
I'm actually going to take Nebraska in this one.
Patrick Mahomes Jr.
No.
I tell you.
I've looked at this game, and I just feel like I'm going with my gut. Nebraska. I think Nebraska's going to win this one, upset on the road.
All right. That's good. Jordan, what you got?
Man, I'm taking the Hoosiers at home.
Hoosiers.
That coach, what's it?
Kurt Cignetti.
Cignetti. I mean, like you said last week, I just win.
And
that's what he's going to do again this week.
That he just wins. All right. So Riddle, you're not alone. Chris said, I'm going Nebraska. He said he's gonna, if he looks like Mahomes, he talks like Mahomes, he dresses like Mahomes.
Oh my
by God, Chris is gonna love him like Mahomes.
No.
And with that said, I am gonna go. I was on the fence, didn't even circle this one. I'm going Cignetti because when he came out and said I've got big nuts and I just win, I couldn't help but just get on the bandwagon. And I'm going Hoosiers all the way. With that said, I'm gonna pick Indiana. All right. This is another one I'm on the fence about. This is a trap game, and a classic trap game. Auburn, Missouri. Tony, start us off.
Well, Missouri stinks just as I expect. I don't care what their record says; they stink.
They smell like cheese.
They have a history of only being good about once every fucking decade.
Yeah.
And then they got lucky last season, but that's whatever. Give me Auburn. In this one. I'm taking Auburn. I don't care.
God,
their offense is just as good as Missouri's. Defense will do just enough. So give me fucking Auburn.
Hugh Freeze is like a loaded wrecking ball, and it just so happens to be aimed right at Jordan-Hare Stadium. With that said, go ahead, Riddle. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Missouri in this one. I think they do just enough to get it done. You're right. It is a trap game, but I'm gonna take Missouri to get it done this week, at least.
Jordan.
Man, I've been on the fence about this one.
Me too.
Peyton Thorne has not looked good all year.
No.
The whole Auburn team has not looked really like just an average football team. But I'm going to take Auburn on the road. Missouri has a big game next week going to Tuscaloosa. I think they might get a little overconfident in this one.
Yeah.
And Auburn steals one late.
All right. Well, Chris took Missouri. And I was on the fence, didn't circle this one either. And I'm going to go Mizzou. I hope Auburn beats the hell out of them for next week, but I'm going to go Missouri because it's at home. SEC road games are tough places to play. Ask Georgia a couple years ago. I mean, SEC on the road is tough, and it's hard to overcome that home field advantage there. So, all right, moving on to the next one. We're excited about this. ECU and our boy Blake in the chat this weekend. ECU versus Army. Who you got, Tony? Go.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can say this might be Army's first test. Highly doubtful. No. They're going up against the ECU defense that gave up 311 yards on the ground to Charlotte just this past week. Sorry, Blake. I know you say ECU is going to be Army. It's not fucking happening, buddy. I'm not going to stop Army. Army's going to fucking destroy him.
All right, there it is. Riddle, go ahead.
Like I said earlier, Bryson Daly is fourth nationally in total QBR. Army's playing good football. I'm pulling for them. I'm on the bandwagon. I've got Army.
Jordan.
I'm going with the Black Knights. Bryson Daly has that offense running like a well-oiled Singer sewing machine. Okay. When you're giving up 300 yards on the ground, the last thing you want to see is a triple option team coming to town.
Yep.
It's going to be a long day for ECU's defense. Army, big, maybe by 40 plus.
Oh God! All right, me and Chris both got Army. Keep it simple. All right. So most of us have already given the Bama UT. Yeah. So I'm not gonna do all that again. Riddle, tell us who you got, and then I'll give you Chris.
I'm going to take Tennessee at home.
Okay.
In this game, I think
that's what I said.
I don't know if it's necessarily a bounce back game for Nico, but I guess you could word it that way. I think Nico is going to have to grow up, and I think he does it Saturday in Knoxville. So I think Tennessee gets it done.
Chris says, dip his hairy nuts in your mouth. He's going Alabama on the road to beat Tennessee. He don't give no shits. So he's got more confidence. He's got more confidence than I do. He didn't have that confidence last Saturday. He looked like he needed. He looked like he needed sildenafil. He needed sildenafil last weekend, and now he's all of a sudden he's all on Alabama. So good for him.
Just mad dogging people.
Hey, it's okay, man. Roll Tide. I'm with you, Chris. I would love to be wrong. All right, Notre Dame, Georgia Tech. Who you got, Tony?
Jeez, I'm just going to say.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one.
Yeah, if there's one thing they can do, I'm a big run guy. That's one thing they can do. They can run the ball somewhat.
Yeah, 100%.
And play a little defense. I mean, they've had a history of that, just not against SEC opponents. Georgia Tech now, they start off looking good. That's against Florida State. They're kind of mid at best. They're an average team. So I'm just going to take Notre Dame here.
Okay, Notre Dame, Riddle.
I too took Notre Dame. It's at Georgia Tech. I think it'll be closer than the spread, but I'm taking Notre Dame.
All right, Jordan, who you got?
At Notre Dame. Lord have mercy, no shame. I mean, I'd like to take the Rambling Wreck, but I mean, after that start, they've really fizzled out. I think they're building that program at Georgia Tech the right way. It's took them. I mean, we had to watch triple option for 20 years. Yeah, it's going to take a while to build back to real football again. But I think Notre Dame gets it done Saturday in Atlanta.
All right, Chris has got Georgia Tech and the Rambling Wreck upsetting Notre Dame. Not out of the realm. They lost to Northern Illinois, so not out of the realm. Can't knock them for it. I'm going to pull a Tony. I'm going to go Notre Dame due to running game and defense. Notre Dame.
Touchdown, Jesus.
Yep. All right, moving on. We've already touched on Michigan, Illinois. The only one we're waiting on is Riddle. So Riddle, and then I'll give you Chris's.
I'm going to take Illinois in this game to beat Michigan.
Welcome to the bandwagon. We got plenty of seats, buddy. We got plenty of seats. And with that said, Chris also took Illinois, so the bandwagon is getting full. Before long, we'll need a clown car. Illinois. It's going to be a good game. Hopefully, I think it'll be a snore fest, but hopefully they can win for the program. Charlotte and those award winners versus Navy. Tony.
Well, it might be a little bit of a high-scoring game. They're just going to score in different ways. Just give me the number 2 rushing attack in the nation. And they'll keep that undefeated streak alive against Charlotte.
Yeah.
Give me Navy.
Yeah, if they can't do it against Charlotte, then I don't know what they're doing here. Riddle, who you got, bro?
Blake Horvath, kind of like Bryson Daly, great quarterback play for Navy this year, and I'm taking Navy.
Navy. Jordan.
I'd like to take Charlotte. I love their coach. Any coach that coaches football games in a cutoff T-shirt, that cuts his own V-neck in them. I mean, how can you not respect that guy? Offensive lineman through and through.
Yeah,
but they've got no shot. Navy just runs wild. Can score as many as they want to.
All right. Me and Chris got Navy, Riddle, so document that. Me and Chris got Navy. So moving on, I think we got a little bit of a game here. I don't. Could be a trap game. Don't know, but Texas A&M, Mississippi State. Tony.
Well, Mississippi State just fucking stinks. So
yeah,
A&M off week. They should be rested. Surely God, they're not going to overlook them. They should just come out, end this shit in the first half, and they'll just pick up where they left off. They've been playing some good ball. So A&M in a landslide.
Okay, Riddle.
Well, I've been to Starkville. And
armpit of the South. Armpit of the South.
It's awful. I don't think that I just don't see the Cowbells helping them this much. I got A&M in this one.
Okay, Jordan.
I mean, Starkville may not be the asshole of the South, but you can smell it from there. Give me A&M.
All right. So I'll say this before we go over these two picks. So Cowbell does make a difference. And if you look at the second half that Mississippi State had against Georgia, maybe they're starting to figure out the Lebby offense. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, both me and Chris have Texas A&M. So all that to say nothing. All that to say nothing. All right. LSU, Arkansas, Tony. This game intrigues me. Tony, what do you got? LSU, Arkansas.
Well, I'm opposite of intriguing because I'm not really, because Arkansas, they're not a good team. They just caught Tennessee on a bad night. Yeah.
You don't think defensively they're halfway decent?
Okay, I give them
halfway decent.
But
What's that albino kid they got running around on the D line? What's that albino kid? I mean, that guy's good. Gotta give him credit.
I'm not believing in the Arkansas shit.
All right.
I'm just
So
not,
LSU.
I'm not doing it. Yeah,
Okay.
hell, Arkansas has like a fucking JV high school offense. Do
Yeah.
you think they're going to be able to keep that up? No. So back to reality. LSU wins.
LSU wins. Okay. All right. Riddle, who you got, bro?
Love Sam Pittman and what he's been doing at Arkansas, but I think LSU's heading the right direction. I got LSU winning on the road.
Okay. That's good. Jordan, what do you got?
LSU traveling to Fayetteville. Man, if I was there, me and John Daly would have a ball because it's going to be woo pig suey all night long. Arkansas gets the upset in this one. LSU has a big test coming in next week against A&M. Coming off a big emotional overtime win against a very good Ole Miss team.
Huge pick.
Could be a big letdown spot right there.
Huge
Woo
pick.
pig suey.
Woo pig suey. All right. Chris and me both have LSU. If Brian Kelly has taught us nothing else, he's taught us that he has no defense, but he has offense, and I don't think Arkansas can keep up with Nussmeier. I think Nussmeier plays well enough just to get the win. So that's our opinion there. So all right, moving on, we're going to go to the UGA Texas game. So we've all made our picks. We're waiting for Riddle, the Georgia fan, to make his pick. Who you got? Go.
So Texas's defense has looked great this year, but like I brought up earlier, they haven't faced a team better than 71st nationally in offense, scoring offense. I'm gonna go with Georgia, and I think they squeak out a close one on the road at Texas. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs.
It's like a homer pick.
Yeah, hey man,
I was believing in your pick. He started barking, and I was like,
Homer Simpson. So Chris's bark is less deep, and his bite is a little softer, but he got Georgia as well. So
Nice.
with that said,
He
Chris
just
got
got
Georgia.
UT. I got it. Okay.
I mean, hey man, you got, dude. I picked UT, Tony. Come on, you got to give me some credit.
No, I said Chris.
I got you. Hey, like I said, all right.
Chris thinks UT
This game is this game right here. I didn't know where to go with this game. This is pretty much the battle of fuck ups. UCF versus Iowa State. Iowa State's playing good ball, but who have they really played? Tony, who you got?
Well, I'm going to say Iowa State hasn't played anyone worth mentioning, first off. And that ranking's bullshit, too.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm talking about Iowa. Iowa, yeah, they're okay. They're not, like, fucking great. Yeah, they beat them. I don't care. I'm going to take UCF in this one. Causes Cyclones to lose their fucking ridiculous number 9 ranking that they currently have. So,
I like that.
give me damn UCF.
Riddle.
I mean, I would be okay with a UCF win, but UCF's lost 3 in a row. They got blown out against Colorado at home.
Mm-hmm.
They got beat by Florida, and they've lost to Cincinnati. I'm not buying into Iowa State yet, but I do believe they win this week. I've got Iowa State.
UCF's due for a win.
All right. Jordan, they're playing for Malzahn's life. Who you got?
You know, I like this Iowa State team. I'm going with the Cyclones.
Okay.
Iowa State is just that classic Midwestern. You don't have a clue of a single player on the roster, but they play solid football. They play complimentary football. They go to they're in Orlando, right? Or is it at Ames?
It's at Ames.
It is, yeah.
Okay, it's at Ames. Oh, it's at Ames. Yeah, then they roll.
All right.
KJ Jefferson just looks pedestrian like he always has. There's a reason he got run out of Arkansas.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So me and Chris, both of us have Iowa State. It being at home for Iowa State, I don't see UCF having enough firepower, and I do think Malzahn, this is last year. I think he's moving on. His high school offense is finally going to hit the greener grass on the other side of the fence. So with that said, we got a couple games left. Kansas State after that huge win, block bully let me down. I was Colorado by 50. K-State went out and got the W. Kansas State versus West Virginia. Tony, what you got?
Kansas State gonna run wild on the Mountaineers.
Run wild, run wild. Run wild.
Give me K-State.
In Morgantown at night? Oh,
Yeah,
shit. We're going to be burning. Hey,
shit.
we're going to be burning couches out there.
Hey, that's fine. Whatever keeps them warm, because I bet it's cold.
All right. Riddle, what you got?
Yeah, I got Kansas State. I know they're having to travel to West Virginia, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think Kansas State. The game against Colorado was fun to watch last week. And
it was.
I do believe they get the win this week.
Yeah, good deal. All right. Jordan?
Have any of y'all ever been to Morgantown?
It's
No,
a
I mean, that place is kind of like that movie, Old Brother, Where Art Thou? It's like 2 hours from everywhere. You have to fly into Pittsburgh or fly into Virginia and drive 2 hours on a bus just to get there. I mean, come on, build an airport already.
Not worth
I mean,
going
Boise
to.
State, Boise, Idaho has an airport. Get one in Morgantown. With that said, cautiously optimistic on Kansas State in this one.
Mhm.
Morgantown at night, anywhere on the road at night is never easy. But I think Johnson, the boys, do enough to get it done and come out with a W.
Good deal. I like that. Me and Chris both have Kansas State, so I picked Kansas State originally last week, and Block Bully changed my mind. I regret that. But with that said, Block Bully, we still would love to have you. We'd love to have you come in and chat with us. So, like I said, we will make a segment for you if you want to come talk football with us. But with that said, we both picked Kansas State. Last game we got to pick is SMU and Stanford. So we got the
Game of the night.
SMU Colts against those trees of Stanford that don't move. Tony, who you got? Who you got?
Well, I'm going to say what I said about Illinois fans earlier. California doesn't give two shits about football in general. Stanford's ass. Their $11 ticket price to show it. SMU to blow up.
All right, Riddle.
Ticket price.
Yeah.
$11 ticket.
I like SMU in this one. Stanford, their last three games, it's just been awful. 40-14 to Clemson, 31-7 to Virginia Tech, and then 49-7 to Notre Dame. I think SMU's going to get the job done.
Okay. Jordan, who you got?
I mean, there for a while, Stanford was fun to watch. But Jim Harbaugh and David Shaw are not walking through that door anytime soon. There was always a running joke, that Stanford was the Vanderbilt of the West, except they could win. But now they're just the Vanderbilt of the West, and they stink. Give me SMU in a rout.
I resent that. All right, so just throwing this out there. Me and Chris both pick SMU, but the tiebreaker for this week, I'm going to go back to Tony. We're going to start at the top. We're going to work our way down, all the way down. Tiebreaker is what's the attendance at the Stanford SMU game this weekend with the $11 ticket prices. Just made this up. So, Tony, You start.
I'll say 11 people.
11 people.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan. Riddle took a break. What you got? What you got, Jordan?
And they all chipped in to buy the same ticket.
Oh gosh.
I'll say between 3,000 and 4,000.
Okay. Y'all laugh. I've been to a Vanderbilt game where they had 500 people on the field, like 500 people in the stands. So I'm going to say that people are optimistic about this game and about 25,000 show up. Now, 25,000 of those are probably SMU fans, but 25,000 show up. They drive all the way and they pack the stadium.
There's no way that conservative Republican SMU fans are going to fly to California for a football game. They'll watch on direct TV.
Hold on.
Like
they might do it just to wipe their ass on California one more time.
Never
all right. Riddle,
going to pay $45 a beer.
Riddle, what do you got for the tiebreaker? What do you got for the tiebreaker? All right.
Are we still doing the attendance for?
Yeah, attendance. Yeah, just messing around. Attendance tiebreaker.
Oh Jesus!
Just take
How
a
much
guess.
does San-
So we said 11.
much-
We said, what did you say, Jordan? Like
I said
4,000?
like 3,000 to 4,000. Tony
I
said
said-
11 people.
I said 25,000, and they're all SMU fans. So you're up.
what? How much does Stanford Stadium hold? It's
Isn't that
almost
the-
on
We'll
this
be
sheet.
there.
About
That
15.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Let's
mean,
go with let's go with a solid 27,115.
you're boldly optimistic there, Cotton. We'll see how that works out for you. All right.
just
With that
confident.
said,
Tony with his $1, Bob. And
Yeah.
all right. So with that said, we're going to go into the last segment of the night. So in
Hey,
honor,
quick question.
yes.
Quick question. Just to clarify, Tony wants to know: are we playing Price is Right rules?
No,
This is
we're
not
playing
what-
closest. We're
Y'all-
playing closest.
Oh, okay.
So all right.
Before we segue, I just
Yeah.
want to say records after last week's
Yes.
picks. Chris went 13-3.
Good job.
Jordan went 12-5.
Shitty
Brandon,
job.
you went 13-4.
Oh, you're damn right.
Tony, you went 14-3, and then I went 16-1. Sweet.
Fuck you. How about that? All right. With that said, so Riddle's keeping up with the stats only because he's winning. So in honor of the significance of this weekend's games for us, especially the majority of us, I want us to all name our best live game experience or memory. Hopefully it's pertaining to the this weekend's matchups. Riddle, I understand. Georgia, Texas didn't play much. But Tony, start us off. Best live game experience or memory, hopefully honoring the Alabama-Tennessee
Oh,
rivalry.
it definitely is. You already know it is.
2022. Go
That
ahead.
just happened 2 years ago.
Go ahead.
Got on the field, almost got run over by some goalposts. Got me a little bit of grass down there.
Little small.
Some
little small.
cigars.
Yeah.
That
There you
was
go.
that was a hell of a time. That was great. And
Yeah.
hopefully they can do it again.
Yeah. I
One
hope.
more time.
I hope not. But I'm probably gonna happen. At this point, are you going to tear the goalpost down now that you're ranked right there with us?
Well, I will say
I
this.
don't know. I
No,
mean,
they better
inquiring
not.
minds must
No.
know. Inquiring minds must know.
I meant to say earlier, they better not be tearing no damn goalposts down if we win this game. that shit should.
It's not a
we-
goalpost worthy game.
Yeah,
All right.
we've already done that 2 years ago. No reason to do it again.
All right. So,
We got to
Riddle?
wait another 20 years for that.
Riddle, go ahead and give us yours, bud.
Unfortunately, I've not been to a Tennessee-Alabama game, and Georgia and Texas have. This is only their sixth meeting all
That's
time
fine. That's fine.
this weekend. I have, however, been to a very significant Tennessee game in a particular rivalry, and it would have been good for last week.
Mm-hmm.
In 2000, I was in Neyland Stadium against Florida for the catch,
Yeah.
and it was my dad. Yeah, it was my dad, my mom, and my
Greatest
stepdad
catch of
and
all
me.
time.
Yeah.
And we got some pretty cheap tickets for it. We were sitting in the heart of the Florida section, in the corner of the end zone, and it was a tough game. It was a great game. Tennessee couldn't get the ball in the end zone though; they were having to settle for a lot of field goals. But I was there. It was in the end zone that I was sitting in. I've seen it live. I've watched replays. That was not a catch. We'll say that for Tennessee fans.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It's greatest catch of all time. And this is coming.
Jabbar
This is
Gaffney did not
was
catch that ball.
this is coming from an Alabama fan who
Johnson
watched
had a
Prothrow
ladder.
catch one and do a flip.
No.
I mean, it's the greatest catch of all time. All right.
What did you say, Jordan? Hang on, what did you say,
I
Jordan?
said that was as much of a catch as Kevin Dyson had a lateral.
Oh hell.
Okay. God dang.
That's been
Hold on.
proven
Hey,
scientifically.
Don't start getting into the Titans yet. We got a comment we're gonna touch on as soon as we log off the podcast. But all right. Jordan, give me your best moment, and then I'll wrap us up.
Man, so many moments throughout my 38 years on this earth of this game. But my best moment in memory, as soon as I say this, Brandon, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But Casey Clausen,
Piece
you know
of shit.
exactly what
Nice
game I'm
man.
talking about.
Piece of shit.
I mean, that game started at 2:30 and ended somewhere around 10 p.m.
Yep, the 7 overtime game.
Yeah, 7 overtime thriller. That was something to see.
So I'm gonna share a quick moment, then we're gonna leave. So with that said, Chris and myself, two of the co-hosts, we were down in Tuscaloosa for the first ever Nick Saban Alabama-Tennessee game. So this game was significant to us because in this time period, we had been in Tennessee in Knoxville the last year when we lost that 13-16 game where it was 4th and 1 on the damn 2-yard line, and Mike Shula was scared shitless to go for it. So with that said, we witnessed pretty much the last time Alabama lost to Tennessee, and then we got to go there the next year and see the first time under Saban, and when we went on a 15-game tear. So it was pretty memorable for us. We won 42-17. We call that the game where we ended Philip Fulmer's Krispy Kreme diet. And with that said, we basically took Tennessee by storm for 15 years straight. So we were very proud of that moment. We were down there. We were live. We were drinking, I remember, apple pie moonshine in the quad at the tailgate. It was awesome. I'll tell you the guys a story about Chris after the podcast is over. A funny story about the bar while we were down there. But with that said, that's my moment. So we're gonna wrap up.
Land did you beat up?
Oh, it's better than that.
Mad Dog.
It's I think I've told y'all this, but it's better than that. So I'm gonna wrap up. All right, closing comments, Tony. Anything?
You just gonna get mine all together?
Oh damn! You already just did yours.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You said Casey Clausen.
Oh
shit!
Over the week,
Yeah. Okay, sorry. You were late and you threw me for a loop, bro.
Yeah, I know.
All right. All right. I apologize. We do have another segment. UConn Cornelius solid gold picks for the weekend for those bettors out there. We need to get this in. This is something we thought was memorable and magical. Apologize. Go ahead, Jordan. I'm sorry.
First off, disclaimer: entertainment purposes only. Don't gamble if you can't afford to lose it, and gamble responsibly. That gets started. Let's go. 3-pack, solid gold, guaranteed to get you to the window this weekend. First up, South Carolina on the money line, plus 115. That I think was an ESPN bet. Still had plus 115 there for like 105, 110. This is strictly a fade of a historically bad offense in Oklahoma. I mean, first 1 to 10 wins.
Yep.
But I think South Carolina can do enough. I just don't know that Oklahoma can score.
It's a good one.
I mean, they have a hard time.
I like that. Good deal.
Next, third Saturday in October.
Ooh.
Got a little. Hold on, I got to turn my camera here. Got a little piece right here. Tennessee first half over 13.5 points. Team prop. I think the focus this week in practice has been getting off to a fast start that we're used to seeing from Coach Heupel's offenses. With the issues Alabama has on defense, especially in stopping the run, I think there should be some good one-on-one matchups early that Nico can exploit. If he can hit a couple of throws, Tennessee scoring 14 in the first half should be no issue.
All right. It's 2 solid ones.
And
Go
the
ahead.
last one. There's only 1 or 2 places that still had this number. If it's still there, grab it. And if not, then 3 is probably still okay. But Colorado plus 3.5 at minus 115. With Coach Prime talking about, Hunter and Horn Jr. expected to play Saturday. I'd take that 3.5 while you can get it. Arizona's quarterback, Fifta, has had turnover issues this year. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, 9 picks. On the season, he's threw a pick in every game, including against Northern Arizona. In the last 2 games, they've both lost, Texas Tech and BYU. He's had 1 touchdown and 5 picks. I think the wrong team is favored here. Take Colorado with the points. Take them on the money line if you want to feel froggy, but take the points. Colorado gets the win right here in Arizona.
All right. Well, with that said, Jordan, thank you for the picks. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Tony, we're going to leave no more summaries. We got some questions that people want to ask us after the podcast ended, so stick around. So want to thank everybody for listening to this week's Lock, Loaded, and Go to the Weekends Roundup. We'll be back live Saturday at 8:30. What?
I said thank everybody.
Yeah. We'll be back live on Saturday at 8:30 to kind of go over our it'll be a live reaction show. Any future shows in this show will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Please go like, follow, subscribe, and all that stuff. It does help the channel. We look forward to a great weekend of games and hope to see you all Saturday on Locked, Loaded, and Goated. And with that said, we are all leaving and